Hello and welcome back to Reason News. The guest list for President Trump's dinner with the nation's top tech CEOs reads like a who's who of Silicon Valley. Mark Zuckerberg, Tim Cook, Sundar Pichai, Bill Gates. But one name was glaringly, conspicuously absent: Elon Musk. This isn't just a simple case of a scheduling conflict. This is a public snub, a sign of political relationship that has gone from a close partnership to a very public and acrimonious split. Just a few months ago, Musk was a constant presence at the White House, the man handpicked to lead the now defunct Department of Government Efficiency. Now it appears he's been sidelined. What does this dramatic shift mean for the future of tech, for politics, and for the once powerful relationship between these two titans? We're breaking it all down right here, right now. The dinner, a high-profile affair that brought together the titans of technology, was meant to be a showcase of collaboration and American investment. The president went around the table asking each executive for their investment pledges. The numbers were staggering. Hundreds of billions of dollars promised for American jobs and innovation. The message was clear. This administration is courting a new kind of power broker, and they're doing it with a new guest list. Mark Zuckerberg of Meta, who was seated next to the president, pledged $600 billion. Apple's Tim Cook announced the same, a cool $600 billion in US investments. Google's Sundar Pichai came in with a pledge of $250 billion, and Microsoft CEO Satya Nadella promised up to $80 billion a year. The president, visibly pleased, called it a new level for the country, praising the high IQ people at the table. But the financial pleasures were just one part of the conversation. The main topic on the agenda was artificial intelligence. This was a direct follow-up to an afternoon meeting of the White House's new Artificial Intelligence Education Task Force, which was chaired by First Lady Melania Trump. She opened that meeting by saying, quote, "The robots are here. Our future is no longer science fiction," unquote. The administration's plan, according to documents and statements, is to ensure the US dominates in the AI race against rivals like China. The dinner was a way to get the companies on board with this vision. Sam Altman of OpenAI, one of Musk's key rivals in the AI space, was at the table. Google's Pichai also participated in the afternoon task force and later told the president he was glad that a landmark antitrust case against Google's Chrome browser had been thrown out by a judge, a ruling that helped Alphabet's market value soar. The dinner was a clear signal of the administration's new approach: less regulation, more partnership, and a laser focus on making American tech companies the undisputed leaders in the world. Here's a video from New York.
Well, thanks for hosting us. I mean, this is quite a group to get together, and I think all of the companies here are making huge investments in the country in order to build out data centers and infrastructure.
But the elephant not in the room was Elon Musk, the man who once held a position of unprecedented influence in this administration, leading what he dubbed the Department of Government Efficiency, or DOGE, is now on the outside looking in. This is a stunning turn of events, especially considering their relationship seemed unbreakable just a few months ago. We saw them together constantly in the Oval Office, at press events, even at a rocket launch. It was a political bromance for the history books. A major point of contention was a disagreement over a key funding bill. Musk publicly criticized the administration's spending, even going so far as to vow to support primary challenges against members who voted for it. The feud escalated on social media with a messy and very public war of words. The partnership that seemed so solid, built on a shared vision of efficiency and a distrust of the status quo, was suddenly in pieces. The question now is, was this a deliberate snub by the White House, or was it a mutual decision? The White House officially confirmed that Musk was not on the guest list. This stands in stark contrast to Musk's own statement on social media, where he claimed he was invited but could not attend. The truth, as is often the case in Washington, is likely somewhere in the middle. The White House, it seems, wanted to send a message: By hosting this dinner without Musk, they're signaling that no single individual, no matter how powerful, is indispensable. They're also demonstrating that they have other allies in Silicon Valley, allies who are willing to come to the table. This isn't the first time Musk has been on the wrong side of the White House. Back in 2021, under the previous administration, Musk was famously left out of an electric vehicle summit, a slight he said he'd never forget. It was that snub that seemed to push him further into the political orbit he now inhabits. He's a man who holds grudges, and this latest incident, whether an intentional snub or not, will likely only harden his resolve. The relationship is now one of the frenemies at best and outright rivals at worst. The influence of a powerful figure like Elon Musk is immense. He controls some of the most innovative and important companies in the world, but his political power, which once seemed at its peak, now appears to be on the wane. The president has demonstrated he's not afraid to alienate a key ally in order to consolidate his power and send a message. The very public falling out between these two men is a story we'll be following closely, because in a world of politics, a single dinner can reveal more than 1,000 speeches. Thank you for joining us on this deep dive into the intersection of power, personality, and politics. Until next time, stay informed, updated, and curious.